Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the DairyCast. This is your host, Josh, and I wanted to first of all thank you guys for continuing to support by hitting that subscribe button. So I like to start with that, hitting that subscribe button so that you guys can help support the parish, support spreading YouTube across Jesus, because, you know, YouTube needs more Jesus. We are almost to 500 subscribers, or 471, I believe. So thank you again for all you guys that are supporting. We also do now have our Patreon account. We're going to be launching some of those episodes as well. So if you want to be a supporter of the page, you guys can sign up, be a supporter, and it helps us continue to grow the channel, bring on even bigger speakers. I know Father Gregory Pine was interested. Wasn't going to quite work out right now, but bring on people as well and kind of continue to grow the channel while also supporting the university parish. So I want to take some time to introduce my guest as a head I almost said football coach, which that also I guess would work. Just need to say with an accent. The head soccer coach, football coach over here at the University of Tulsa, Tom McInosh. Tom, how are you doing?
Good, Josh. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, are you guys probably in full swing? I feel like I've driven by and seen them out there.
Yeah, so we're kind of in this strange period where all our players are back working out.
Okay.
But it's against NCAA rules for us to actually coach them. So,
okay. Gotcha.
So we're in this phase where they spend a lot of time with their strength conditioning coach.
Yeah.
And then we put together sessions for the guys, and they go, they kind of go do it on their own, which is actually, a good time period. So,
absolutely.
But they're all back working out.
Nice.
And it's obviously it's great whenever they come back. So
yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure they're not as ready as we are, but I'm just super excited for the fall semester to start. Let's get soccer games back and football games and just student activities going. I'm just let's get this going. I know some students are hey, hold on, don't rush. Yeah. But that's awesome. So so that blackout period, how long is that for you guys?
It's about 5 weeks. So they all come back. Okay. They were here July 1st, and then they'll go through next week, have the weekend off, and then we start official practice on August 6th. And so that's kind of when we really get going full go. So,
gotcha. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I've always been such a big sports guy, so I want to take this on a little bit of a tangent real fast, and this has nothing to do with faith and Catholic faith or anything. But okay, so why do they have a blackout period? I've never known. I've always known about it, but I've never known why.
Well, I think they want to make sure, the NCAA generally wants to try and make sure that you're not requiring your players to be there, 365 days a year, 24/7.
Gotcha.
So I think that's certainly part of it. Certainly part of it is expense. It obviously costs money. We're fortunate that our athletic department, university, will pay for a class for the guys who are on scholarship, pay for their apartment for that 5 weeks. So so those things also go into it, for sure. And it just varies by sport. Basketball's basketball, men's, women's basketball, they are here almost 365 days a year, 24/7. So it just kind of varies by the sport, and the rules are slightly different. For each sport.
Okay, gotcha. I've always been curious because, like we were kind of talking before, I had this nutrition club, and we had all the athletes in there. It actually started with, let me think. Isolde had come in. She was on the women's soccer team here, I believe, from Iceland. And she then told some of her players, who brought Emily Brandenburg, who brought in Thomas Wells, who's on your team. He brought in everybody, which was great. And that's how I met.
Good at that.
I know, right? He's just, he's such a great guy. And I met Malik Henry Scott through all this stuff. But it was really interesting to see those. It doesn't matter if season could have just ended, and they were already talking about I think I'm going to go out to the field with a couple of guys, and we're going to be just taking their own initiative. It's that's awesome.
Yeah, it's for sure. We do tell players who, decide to come play here and play at this level is, it is sort of a way of life. That is a choice that you're making. And so there's definitely periods where we're not working with the players, and but that doesn't mean they're not going out on their own and training. And and that's, I think it's one of the beauties of having sort of these periods where we can't officially work with them, is we get to see their own self-discipline. And because some players will not do what they probably should do during those time periods. And but the players who do, they, a lot of times get rewarded for it. And so I think it's a good time period for the players to do things on their own and make their own decisions and those types of things.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we just recently did a Theology on Tap, and Gerald did a talk on everything's a gift, and that almost like reminded me of that. It's like, maybe a 5-week window where you can't coach them, but it's actually a gift in a way because, you get to see, like, how are these players going to respond to this? Are they going to get out there and get to work, or are they going to take a 5-week vacation and come back out of shape and winded and not be able to keep up with everybody? And then you always get some stud freshmen or transfer students that are coming in looking to take that spot. So that's awesome. Now, I have a couple of soccer questions because my dad played soccer. He was actually back at OSU. They had like a club team. It wasn't even like a university. Actually, they still don't have a men's team. But they let him play because he drove the bus. But he loved the sport. I never played. I don't know why. I wish I would have. My daughter's hopefully going to start soon. But there's a couple things that I never understood. And one of them was I was a big basketball player, so I mean, score's tied at the end of the game. You go into overtime. Like, let's go. Let's keep going. And so, is this just a tradition thing? Why soccer just ends in a draw, or?
Yeah, I think it's more tradition. So we did play overtime. We used to actually in the NCAA up until I think last year was the first year that we at least didn't play 2 10-minute overtime periods to try and get a final score. So so I think it's partly the game's already kind of long, and so I think a combination of that tradition. How long are you going to play? Are you going to keep playing? The game. Yeah, because scoring is difficult, like basketball. I always tell people it's the uniqueness of different sports. So, basketball, and this is the funny part about soccer. So in basketball, because scoring is so rampant, you score all the time. The team who plays better on the day always wins in basketball. And in soccer, you can kind of have this where a team, because scoring becomes so difficult and there's not a lot of it, teams on the day who maybe in theory play better, they have more of the ball, they have more shots, but they can still lose maybe 20 or 30% of the time. And so it's a little bit the uniqueness of the sports. So I think all that kind of goes into, if it's tied, then we'll just give it a draw and I think the good thing that they've done, all the leagues did, because it used to be 2 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, 0 for a loss. And now pretty much all the leagues throughout the world, have gone to 3 points for a win. So at least you're encouraged, not to get ties. So,
absolutely.
Those changes help.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always just like, man, I wish they'd do a penalty kickoff like every time. That'd be awesome. It'd be so cool. Which I know, do they do that when it comes like playoffs and stuff? If it gets to a certain point, okay.
So in the conference tournament and the NCAA tournament, we'll go to penalty kicks, and we actually won a conference tournament one year, 2000 and I want to say 14, 15. I think it was 15. We went 3 straight games to penalty kicks and won all 3 and won the conference championship. So,
that's awesome. Those games are always fun to go to. And as I got to know it a little better, I started to understand, because at first I was just like, I don't think I'm going to like this because I feel like just the score ending 1-0 seems like it's not going to be that exciting. But there's so much stuff that can happen that is so exciting. Like even sometimes just a really good play is made and they barely miss the goal or whatever. And it's like, that was pretty epic. I mean, that was like the equivalent of seeing someone get a awesome layup. It's like not the most exciting thing in basketball. And maybe you could see Steph Curry hit a logo 3 or something, but it was still like something that was still exciting. And then with the draws, I know talking with Emily, she was talking about how like a draw for them with the number 1 team in their conference is actually a win. Like that's a win on their part. And I was like, I've never thought about that. That's a great point. Like that's a good point. So, and then the last question I had on this, and we'll kind of get into, well, I guess we're still talking about sports stuff, I think, but have never understood either why. So basketball, if I foul out, it's just like they give you 30 seconds, you find someone on the bench and put them in. But with a red card, it's just like, no, you're out and your team's screwed for the rest of the game. I'm just like, that has sometimes been, I know I've seen games where like the other team gets a red card and we've been struggling to get the ball in scoring position. Now it's like, oh, sweet, like take advantage of this. But so I was thinking like, I wonder what, like that must be a tradition thing too or something. I don't know. Like I wonder why in soccer they don't allow, I don't know. Or at least like if it happens in the first half, when you come back out of the second half, it's even the playing field again. It's like, nope, the rest of the game.
Yeah. I think it's just that, again, that's one of the sort of the traditional rules of the game. And certainly it's evolved over time. And rightfully so. It's much easier to get yellow cards and red cards today than it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So, but it's just kind of sort of the evolution of sport where you want to see the skill. Almost all the sports make rule changes to, highlight the skillful players and highlight the skill of the game. And so there's always tweaks to it, but soccer's kind of moved that way. So I don't see the red card changing anytime soon or yellow card.
And soccer seems like one of those, kind of like baseball, like when they made that switch and they put the pitch clock on there, even something as simple as we're just trying to speed the game up. People are like, no, what are you doing? Like, don't change the game. Soccer just seems like one of those. It's like such a staple. And I was not into it until I was like, I got to go see his old play and Emily play because they're supporting my business. I need to support theirs. Then I fell in love with it. And my 4-year-old loves to go out there and play. She showed up actually really early one time, and Emily and Isolde brought her out on the field, and they were like kicking the ball around with her. It was super cute. But
Emily's a great person. And, it's a great sport for kids. And it's, I think it's one of those sports that as a foundation sport, it's so good for kids and athletes who end up playing other sports, because there's very few sports that put the emphasis on footwork. Obviously that soccer does. And and it can pay big dividends in other sports as you get older. So
absolutely.
I see a lot of that.
I'm right-handed, but my older brother actually was the one that kind of kicked around a ball and actually taught me how to kick a football. And so I'm naturally left-footed. And my dad, being a big soccer player, he's like, I wish you would have stuck with it because you probably would have picked up on that right foot real easy, and you would have been a pretty decent striker. And I always kind of had the foot-eye coordination, and I honestly, looking back on it, I don't know why. I probably just chose other sports over. I don't know why I stopped playing. But unlike football, where I got hit once, and I was like, nope, I'm out.
Not going to do
that. No, something you said that kind of was, I was thinking about too, was kind of just the evolution of sports and where it's going. Yellow cards and red cards are much easier to come by now. I feel like basketball is the same way. It's like nowadays it's just like you can't touch a person without like getting a foul, especially if I always make the joke in the NBA because I love watching the NBA, but at the same time I'm like the fouls kind of get called, like whether you're going to get the foul or not is determined by how high your salary is, like how high up you are, because sometimes LeBron gets flying in there and someone breezes his elbow and they call a foul, and then you get someone like an Austin Reeves when he was a rookie and he gets hammered and you're like, holy moly, like I don't know how you didn't get a foul call there. I was thinking kind of a good transition into kind of the topic is I know a lot of parents are actually thinking about not putting their kids into too many sports, at least like relative contact sports. I know soccer and basketball maybe at first glance don't seem like a contact sport until you actually go watch a game and you're like, okay, there is contact for sure. But what just kind of just start the conversation. What would you say to like parents that are contemplating whether they should get their kids involved in sports?
Yeah, I think sports are, one, I think they're meant to be played because you enjoy them and you have fun. So, and you love doing it. I think people sometimes maybe lose sight of that, maybe too fast, too quick. But I think it needs to be a sport that you enjoy, that you love playing, and all that. And then I think sports can be, a tremendous learning vehicle and learning tool, and just in so many different aspects, whether it's your ability to communicate with others, your ability to work with others, obviously your own work ethic, and so I think sports, just about anything though, sports education, I think, my belief is that you need to, use some of those things that you learn through sport, through school, and other aspects of your life. Otherwise, maybe you're not getting everything out of it that that you could. And for sure, from young ages, I think sport is great development in terms of your motor skills, your ability to move, and all of that. So I think whatever your sport is, but I think soccer is one of those that what you have to do in soccer often transcends to other sports that you may play later on in life. And and I've seen it. I was a basketball player as well. I played basketball all through high school. And coaches would always love soccer players on the team because their footwork's so good. They play good defense because they know how to move their feet. So I think sports are just obviously biased, but
right.
I think sports are tremendous development tools and great ways for kids to enjoy themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know some of the people I've talked to that are not necessarily against sports. I haven't necessarily met anybody that's like, I definitely don't want my kids playing sports. I'm highly against them. I've never met anybody like that. But just to a point where they're like more focused on getting them involved in their church and more focused on getting them involved in academic type like extracurriculars, whether it's some kind of like science stuff or whatever. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. But me growing up being a big sports person, I've always thought that too, kind of piggybacking off what you said, is that it's just great, just development in general. And I feel like soccer is a really great one because, and this is what me and my wife talk about all the time, is we want our daughter to do soccer, our kids in general just do soccer so bad because it mixes a couple of the things that me and my wife both did. And that for me, I was cross country and track, and then I was basketball. And I feel like basketball is really good for helping my brain kind of do multiple things at one time and kind of develop that, I don't know if it's I guess that'd be like not the creative side of your brain, but the right side, left side, whatever side it is, but just your motor skills. Like it's just really great on helping your motor skills. And then on the cross country and track side is that the discipline, the just mental toughness, just overall just being like resilient, I guess would be the perfect word to use, in just all sorts of different ways.
Yeah, those the cross country track, we see that the cross country track guys going they're just amazing. How
those guys are freaks.
Easy and
sometimes,
we're soccer players. We don't, if there's not a ball involved, we don't like to run. I think it's amazing what the cross country, like you said, cross country track guys do. And I wouldn't want to do that. So some of those sports are just brutal. In terms of like your mental toughness and your. We had a player who years ago, it's more difficult now, but I had a player who ran the 800 here for the track team, and then also played for us. And
oh wow,
he would literally throw up after every 800-meter race. Like, he ran to complete exhaustion.
Yeah, I just imagine him, but he looked easy. It looked easy, and he crossed the finish line. He's like, bleh! And you're like, oh gosh, yeah. That was my race too. Was the 800 in track, and then it was just doing anything further than that. Though, like the mile was also one of my top races, but then cross country was always a little tougher for me because it was such a mental toughness. It was such like you're running, and I remember like I would tell people, they're like, what, like how do you keep going? Like what do you do? Because it's such a long. I was running in 18 minutes 5K, so. What are you doing for that long? And I'm literally talking to myself. Like I'm telling myself, like, breathe, keep going, just stay on this guy's shoulder, just stay with him. Or like, we're going to pass this guy. Let's go catch that guy, but let's take some time. But I was like talking to myself the entire time. And that mental toughness, I feel like just starts like relates right over to life. And cause you're going to have those times in life where life's not going well and it's getting you down and work's tough. And you're just gonna be like, I just got to get to this next checkpoint. I got to stay tough. And then have to have faith in my training and my everything I'm doing in life. That training would be your spiritual life and your prayer life and going to mass and the sacraments and allowing that prayer life to get you through those tougher times. But sports, I think just relates well.
So
yeah,
I think we're all sort of juggling different balls in our life, and certainly, I think the more you can intertwine, your faith life, your personal life, your athletic life, I think you're sort of juggling all those, at any one point in time. And, but I think there can be benefits, in one area that can help you in another area. We talk about even just academically, we want our guys to have good habits academically, to pursue good grades, because the habits that they can develop and enhance through doing that can also help them in their soccer life. So so I think that's all part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know for you guys too, it's obviously like, how can we be excellent and be the best we can on the field? But you guys are also thinking the future too. Like, how can I develop this person into a great man, a great leader, a great, like, just member of society? And so how do you guys kind of make sure that you guys are focusing on, like, obviously being the best soccer team you can, but at the same time, like, make sure you're developing them as, like, men?
Yeah, I think it's always trying to reaffirm, our mission statement as a program. And I'm a firm believer that you truly only develop by trying to, or you develop the best by trying to reach lofty goals, by pursuing championships, obviously in our case, and the work that it takes. But our mission statement really encompasses 3 areas. One, obviously the pursuit of championships and trophies each and every year, the pursuit of excellent grades each and every semester, and then 3, positively impacting our campus and community. And I think if we can try and do those 3 things throughout the course of the year, then as I tell players, the ultimate goal isn't the trophy. The ultimate goal, for sure, that's what we're here trying to do, but that's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is, for me, is 25 years from now, that my players are successful fathers, successful in business, whatever their career is, and that they're living their best life possible. That is the real goal. So we it's part of our recruiting process. It's part of what we talk about weekly, and just trying to reaffirm that that's why we're here.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are, and what was I going? I just lost my train of thought there for a second. But that's awesome. What were those 3 again that you said? Is chasing trophies and
the pursuit of trophies each and every year. The pursuit of excellent grades and a meaningful degree each and every semester. And then positively impacting our campus and community. And so like last week we had 12 guys out at Lindbergh Elementary School. They were out there working with kids there.
That's awesome.
Positively impacting those kids even for just a couple of hours. And so we have the opportunity to do little things like that on a consistent basis, and then I just think it starts to build the right culture that you want within your within a program, within your athletic department. And,
absolutely.
That's all.
Yeah, and I was asked for those 3 again because I was kind of thinking in my head, and I think that's why I lost train of thought. I was like putting those 3 and how it would relate to real life and really the faith life, which was perfectly, is like kind of chasing trophies and success, like championships, is kind of like us, like we're going to chase like sanctification. We want to become saints, and we want to get to heaven, becoming well-rounded academically, like getting good grades and being successful in the classroom too. And we also want to be like well-versed in the Word of God and to be able to successfully communicate that as well. And then finally being a positive impact in the community, which that is just translates exactly what that is also be a positive impact in our communities, whether it's our parishes or our families, obviously first. And so that's great. That's awesome.
You talk about your time, talent, and treasure, and and maybe our players aren't in a position maybe to do so much in the treasure category at this moment, but they certainly are blessed and have the ability to give their time and give their talent and use their talents for the good of others. So I think that's all, that's all part of it, and we're all blessed, in different ways. And so, but certainly our players are, they're certainly blessed with having certainly have the ability, the time, and maybe not a lot of it, but they have some that they can do. And for sure they have a lot of talent that they can, both in terms of, and talent, not necessarily just soccer talent, but talent is people, talent as individuals, that they can utilize to help others.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe some players don't always recognize that. I think the guys, they don't, for sure the players don't totally understand the impact they can have on others. They don't really see that maybe, but that's something I try to, let them know, like, you guys don't understand, you can really impact these, this situation or these people.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I feel like the two guys that I know pretty well, I know a lot of the guys, but like the two guys that we kind of mentioned earlier, McInosh Scott and Thomas Wells, like those are two guys for me that I'm like, I see that in them. Like they have a talent, in like Thomas, I just see him as he's just like a natural leader. And this is from my perspective, obviously, but I think it's true, is that just a natural leader. He's one that I think guys want to aspire to be like. The younger guys look and probably want to aspire to be like, and the older guys see and respect him for the leader he's coming to be. Then you got McInosh Scott, who maybe he's not as vocal, at least he wasn't around the club. He's a little bit quieter, but I feel like he's just dependable. Like you can just count on him. Like he's gonna be there, and he's also gonna work hard and probably try to outwork you as well, which is awesome. That's what I see in both those guys. Just great talent that they're utilizing. And time, talent, treasure is something in my office. I mean, I do fundraising for a living. So time, talent, treasure is something that we're always talking about over here. And I think we're all called to give that, use our time, talent, and treasure. And for college students, it's more so, like you said, it's not really on the treasure side yet. Hopefully it will be in the future. But it's that time and talent. Like they'll have the time, they'll have more. Even the college kids think they're busy. They've got more time now than they ever will. But have that time to volunteer at those elementary schools and do stuff like that. And then with their talents and just utilizing that within their community. That's awesome. So do you guys keep like, or do you guys personally try to incorporate like a faith life aspect in your team? I know people are going to be coming from all over the place and all sorts of different places, and you want to be respectful. And it's like obviously a team in soccer, soccer's the goal, but like, is there a faith aspect of it as well?
I think so. Now, like you said, you do have players who come from all over, different ways of life, and and so you want to be respectful to everybody's faith. I think whatever their faith life is. So I think you want to be respectful, but then I also think you can invite people along the way. Players can. So, we've had players, who go to the Bible studies and who are not Catholic, who still go there. And so I think that's positive. And so we have players take part in Bible studies. They invite other players. Some guys might just go, they're curious. There's nothing wrong with that. So I think we try to incorporate that, and and it's maybe sometimes the players probably don't totally understand. So we before every game we say the Serenity Prayer as a group, and it's actually quite I had a high school coach talk to me about it when I was going through a difficult time, and and I think it's something that's so relevant in sports too, and it was like I said, it was a high school coach, basketball coach, and he kind of taught me it, or explained it, to me, and it made a lot of sense, and it's something that a good number of years ago now, we didn't do it right away, but maybe, I'm going to guess 10, 15 years ago, we started using that prayer and before every game, because you control the things you can, accept the things you cannot, and hopefully have the wisdom to know the difference. And I think, and now after learning, there's, I read sports performance books and I read
Mm-hmm.
a lot, and that prayer has come up in, 2 or 3 sports performance books.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. We used to do the Our Father before basketball games. And I mean, I know some of those high school guys I went to school with, and they were not practicing Christians, at least. I mean, we're all hypocritical in ways. But it was cool just seeing like sports can really kind of bring that out of people, and all those people reciting it every time before a game. And whether it's like, yeah, like you said, like whether they know what they're doing or not, like it can still be impactful and still be something that's just a great way to evangelize without just kind of becoming overbearing. Like you don't want to be that person that's just like down people's throat all the time, but we definitely want to be a witness, and that's awesome. Yeah, and I was going to mention the Bible study too. I think Ignacio told me at one point it was like 14 people big, and he said maybe 2 or 3 were Catholic and the rest weren't. So he's like, it's more of a Protestant Bible study with a couple of Catholics, and which is great, but it's run in a Catholic way. Which is great, because those guys come in and they don't feel pressured to like, hey, if you want to continue, you have to stay Catholic. Like that's not a thing. They just feel really welcomed, and it's just like, no, we're just going to do our best to present the Catholic understanding of the Bible, and walk along with you guys. Like we don't want to preach to you, but we want to walk with you, and just such a better way to kind of put that especially for athletes, where it's like, where they're all getting better on the field together. It's like we're all walking, we're doing this journey together. And so that Bible study runs the same way, which is awesome. I think it's been going on for a while too. I know Thomas Wells is one of the big like people to really get it going.
He really got it going. Here recently, Jacob Chappell. He was on the team, and my son. Was on the team. They've kind of, kept it going, and so, hopefully it's something we can, like I say, we can keep going, and because I think college is there's a lot that goes on over these 4 years, and so I think, knowing that, your faith life can help you through difficult circumstances, can help you through the learning process. I think, for me, it's something that's really valuable. Maybe it's even something that I didn't obviously see as valuable when I was their age. And so, so I think that's kind of how we approach it. And I think it's, whatever your faith is, it's, obviously, like I said, we have individuals from very different walks of life, which is the beauty of it. It's just the beauty of putting teams together. Take people who are totally different parts of the world, speak different languages, and then how do you put all that together into one, high performing unit? And I think that's enjoyable.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, cool. Would you guys have, obviously, I always ask everyone if you have any plugs to plug for you guys, but obviously the season's coming up. Are you guys a fall sport or a spring sport? I know kind of you play in both, but like your season's a fall.
So we open up. Home opener is August 28th versus Louisville.
Nice.
So first week of school, so not too much going on in school at that time. So we'd love to have a big crowd for that game. Louisville's obviously from the ACC, which is generally the number one conference in the country, and when it comes to men's soccer. So and they have a very good program, and so we're hoping that we can have a tremendous crowd. So
that's one of my favorite things. I went to Oklahoma State. And so one of my favorite things is when like University of Tulsa, smaller university, still Division I love it when like a Louisville or Oklahoma State's coming for football. But like I love when those big schools come in and we just like take them out. I love it. It's the best feeling in the world. I went to the women's team play Florida, and I was like, I've got to go check this out, because the women's basketball team play Florida, and I was like, I've got to go check this out because it's an SEC team. If we take them out, that means this women's team and what Coach Nelp is doing, they're the real deal. And we did. We took them out. I'm like, I knew it. Like, Coach Nelp's doing some amazing work over there.
Yeah, no, we had a game. Oh man, back in 2003. So we were at Stanford, and they were number one in the country, and we were still sort of up and coming, and we went to Stanford and beat them 3-1, and beat them pretty handily. And then the chairman of our board of trustees was at the game because he's from Tulsa area, but Fulton Collins, who passed away a number of years ago, but a man who made a tremendous impact on this campus. But we finished the game. So we finished the game. We beat Stanford 3-1. Like I said, they were number one in the country. So we're on the West Coast. So it's like 10 o'clock there. It's like midnight back in Tulsa. And he's like, we got to call the president. And I was like, well, you could call the president.
I'm not.
At midnight.
Yeah.
You're the chairman of the board of trustees. So I guess
you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
So he called them and was like, we just beat Stanford 3-1. And that was a big moment for our program. And one that kind of lifted us a little bit more into the spotlight. And obviously we've had a lot of good wins, obviously, ever since. So
that's awesome.
But
I'll include. I'll go on and find the link to your guys's season ticket and ticket sales and stuff, and I'll include it in the video. Because that'd be awesome. Because like I said, if you guys have kids, especially, it's awesome. It's fun to go out there. There's even space, obviously in the stands, there's great space for them, but also we love going towards the end of one side, and they're able to kind of run around. It's just a fun environment. I mean, half the time you're getting a free shirt out of it as well. So if you need any more motivation,
it's a good place for families with kids, and it's, like you said, there's space for them to run, and so it can be a good outlet for a couple hours. And
absolutely. Now you guys playing FC Tulsa again this year?
We'll probably play them in the spring.
Okay.
We generally try to play them in one of our exhibition games. So
it's always fun.
So our spring seasons, we try to play, if we can. Again, it depends on the schedules, but we try to usually play a couple of professional teams. And so we'll probably try to continue to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's always a great experience for the guys, and it's good for us.
Yeah,
obviously to see where we're at. So
absolutely.
So good games.
And cool exposure either way. That's cool. Awesome. Well, I think we'll wrap up here with the Saint draft if you're down for it. The starting five. We typically just go back and forth drafting our top 5 Saints, and we just let people comment below which one they think's best, and then we ignore all the comments because it doesn't matter, because a team of Saints, no matter what, would be awesome. And we're trying to build our team of Saints. If they were alive today, they would just save the world, basically. So I
guess we'll see.
These things typically just it's always we just pick them out of the blue, and half the time I don't have an explanation for why I picked that person. Mainly it's just because I know the name. So but I'll let you go first. You can pick the first one.
Well, I'll go with what's around my neck, St. Christopher. So
okay. Nice. St. Christopher. Oh, that would be the one that you would pray to on a road trip, right? I think.
Yeah. I travel a lot. I travel a lot. So
there you go.
So.
Okay, so I would go. I have a little my little box here that holds my mic up and stuff. But I got JP2, so St. John Paul II. He'd just be a great leader, just a great guy. He'd be an awesome one. All right, number 2.
Oh, St. Joseph, maybe.
Oh yeah, it'd be hard not to go with that one, especially nowadays. We just need good role models for men and for fathers, and St. Joseph would be that. It'd be great. I would go number 2. I'd go our patron saint of this parish here at the University of Tulsa, which is St. Philip Neri. He's the patron saint of joy, and he's he was a layperson for the most of his ministry, but then he became a priest later on. So I think he'd be great. He'd definitely be out at a soccer game, having fun. Right, number 3.
Oh man, I don't know. St. Michael.
Okay, the Archangel. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's always a good one. That was my confirmation saint. It was a great one. Yeah, I asked him. I was like, "Can I pick an archangel?" And the guy was like, I think so. Let me ask. And they were like, yeah, you can. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'll take him. I don't have my water today, but they have my next Saints, and there's no really rules to this game. But it's a couple actually, but they're always mentioned together. St. Louis and Zelly Martin, and they were just great lay people. They were the ones that the parents of St. Therese of Lisieux, and so they were just great. And they'd be great role models for parents, especially in today's society where it's just a weird, crazy world for families, and so they'd be great role models for families. All right, we got 2 more each.
Can I say St. Mary?
You can if you want. There's a few of them, but just Mary. Usually we're like Mary, Mother of God, is off the table because that just is the automatic win. But no, like I said, there's no rules.
Can I not do that?
Absolutely, you can. There's no rules to this. We can make them up. We can make them up as we go. That's a sports tactic right there. You just go for the win. Go for the win. Yeah.
Saint Mary, Mother of Jesus.
Then I would just break the rules too and just do Our Lady of Guadalupe, and then also pick Mary, just a different adoration or apparition. So we'll go with Our Lady of Guadalupe. So one more, last one of fifth saint.
Gosh, I don't know. Saint
This
Anthony?
is some. Oh, okay, nice. Is that the one where you like if you lose something? I think. Yeah. I think I always forget. The very first time I did this, I didn't prep for it at all. I did it with my wife. And I was like, I hope I know 5 saints, honestly.
Yeah.
And actually, you need to know 10 just in case your others get picked. So, and I my last, so I think moral. I had this conversation about moral authority, and some people that just are so moral. They're such great people that everyone just loves them, no matter their stance, their beliefs, or something. And so that's someone like Mother Teresa. So Saint Teresa of Calcutta. She's just such a great person. And she's relatively modern. I mean, she didn't die too long ago, but I think if she was still alive today, I think so many people would love her. She's like one of those uncancelable people. Like people just wouldn't cancel her. So, yeah, that's awesome. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for playing along. I always like to tell people comment below which team you think's best, even though he cheated with the Mary comment. But I'm just kidding. Yeah. Well, we'll definitely see you guys next week. Don't forget again to like and subscribe. And every time you engage with the channel just at all, it helps spread the channel around YouTube. And that's what we're about, spreading more Jesus around YouTube because YouTube needs more Jesus. We will see you guys next week. Tom, thanks for being on, and we will.
Thank you, Josh.
See you guys. What you said, August 28th against Louisville. We'll see you out there at that game. So,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. We will catch you next time. See you guys.
All right.